Okay, let's have some fun. Enough serious talk. Q has lined up something for us to have a hot take on, something happening in the industry. Q, what are we talking about today?
The coolest startup in the Bay Area is a baseball team called the Oakland Ballers. Today, we're diving into how startup principles are being used in unexpected ways, like running a sports team. With Will's expertise in launching and scaling companies, we chose the story of the Oakland Ballers, a team that's using innovative startup strategies to build a community-driven, fan-owned franchise. So, Paul Friedman, a serial entrepreneur, co-founded the Oakland Ballers in response to the Oakland A's move to Las Vegas. Together with Brian Carmel, they applied startup principles like A&B testing and iteration to build the team, raising $2 million and embracing fan ownership by involving 2,200 fans who invested $12.35 million. Playing in the Pioneer League, the Ballers focus on fan engagement and innovation, including unique elements like home run derbies to break ties with a mission-driven, community-centric approach. What do you guys think?
First off, step one, name whatever you're saying the Ballers. You instantly win at life. Like, come on. Even if the team didn't actually exist, I think they could sell like 1 million jerseys, right? Like who wouldn't want that jersey? I want that jersey. And I don't even care if the team exists. I just thought the branding was genius. The other cool thing about it is with the A's moving, right? The idea that they're like also known as the Oakland Bees, which I thought was also very clever. But with the A's moving, right? Normally a fan base would just take it, right? It's just, oh, yeah, I guess we lost our team. The cool thing about a founder is like, no,
Yeah.
we're going to go build our own, right?
Yeah.
And I almost don't even care if it's successful. I care that he did it. As a founder, I just had mad respect for that move.
You know, I was looking at some of the trends or some of the things that made this story possible. And first, they used technology. So they partnered with an app, I believe, fan-controlled sports, which is great. And it's like the new thing. I'm a huge NFL fan, and I cheer for the Minnesota Vikings, okay? I'm one of the most tortured sports team fan bases ever. And our arch nemesis is the Green Bay Packers. Now, for those of you who don't know, I'm going to just give you a little history. Green Bay Packers have a history, like 30 some odd years of franchise quarterbacks. They had Brett Favre, you know, and they just kept going. Aaron Rodgers, like winning and winning and winning. I remember one time going, how do they do this? And I found out the team is like a public company. It's controlled, It's owned by people, by the fans. And I thought to myself, and now we got technology to make that easier. And so we're looking at new business models where even a sports team can go and pretty much like fractionalize their ownership and create engagement, create community. The power of community is amazing. I think it's a fantastic story.
Well, I think part of what you're talking about too is a community, but a sense of ownership. And I don't just mean like a dollar ownership. We create ownership in the music we listen to. We create ownership in the clothes that we wear. Like we create a sense of identity from the things that we quote own. Okay. And so at which point he said, hey, we got our team taken away from us. Now we collectively, community, we own this team, right? Again, not the dollar figure. The dollar figure is incidental. I'll give you a similar story. Since I'm from Columbus, Ohio, the only thing happening here is college football. And so the Ohio State Buckeyes play the Michigan Wolverines every year. It's a massive rivalry. It's the biggest rivalry in college football, right? And I think to myself, like, these two fan bases hate each other. And I'm thinking to myself, like, you've never played a day of football in your life, right? Like, you haven't played on this team, right? How did you get so, like, where did this ownership come from, right? I'm not even from Ohio. I'm from Connecticut, right? Like, I have no like connectivity to like having like made this team. And yet somehow I feel very passionate about their outcomes. I have a sense of ownership that I have built up for myself. It's totally mental, right? But I feel it. And what these guys did is they resurrected that ownership, that feeling that everybody had just lost with the A's. And they said, no, this is your team now, right? Now, let's overlook the fact they're playing in a little league field, right? Let's overlook the fact they're not even really in a league, right? Or you have no idea who the players are, right? What they're saying is you wanted to own something. You wanted to be a part of something. And this is a conduit to do it. Channeling that energy was genius. It was genius. Again, the name was even better, but it was awesome.
And the technology allows us to do this. Q, what's the general chatter? You usually find the responses. What are the opinions on this out there?
So the majority of opinions on this, Ed, are very positive. I think fans appreciate that the Oakland Ballers are keeping baseball alive in Oakland after the departure of the A's. Many of them see it as a community-driven alternative, especially as they engage with fans through ownership and innovative game formats like the home run derby to break ties. And as of July 11th, they allow fans to purchase ownership shares in the team. And that's inspired by the Oakland Roots Soccer Club crowdfunding efforts. So their focus on community engagement such as open tryouts. It seems to really resonate with local fans who want to support a homegrown team. And the only real criticism, kind of the question that fans are having, is whether they can truly fill the void left by their beloved A's, especially given the lower quality of play compared to the MLB, for example. And there's also been allegations of player mistreatment, which could affect the team's reputation.
Yeah, player mistreatment, I think would rank up there with like every team that's ever existed. Yeah, every player feels mistreated. I know I did. But that said, I think what's interesting about that is part of it is the ownership, just like, hey, we're all in this together. But a lot of that ownership has some pixie dust to it that wears off as people kind of forget that the A's aren't there anymore, and et cetera. So they've got to be able to turn that momentum around. So there has to be something really unique about the product that keeps people coming back. That isn't just, oh, screw it, the A's aren't around anymore. Okay, so the first thing you mentioned, Q, you mentioned tryouts, right? That is awesome. That is awesome, right? We have a different version of that here in Columbus. There's a professional hockey team called the Blue Jackets, and they have this huge outreach program. It's massive, where all the people that are connected to the Blue Jackets, et cetera, they actually allow kids to get an entire set of high-end hockey gear and lessons for $200, which is like next to nothing. Like, hockey gear is wildly expensive, and it's like good gear. My son's in the program, right? And I got there, and I grew up playing hockey, so I was familiar. I got there, and I was like, this is really well done, and it's branding the team. It's building affinity. It makes me want to go to a game. It makes me want to take my kid to a game. I'm like, what a genius way to build your fans by not just signing autographs. Get them on the field. Get them on the ice. Get them playing, right? Have showcase games where the fans are the ones playing, right? Where they get to play on the field. I would do that in a heartbeat. I just think that's so smart.
And all those principles apply. Just to cap this off, the founders listening, these principles can be transferred to your startup. You could do this
Absolutely
all over the place. It's great.